Hi everyone, I'm Sophia. I'm the DevRel lead at Celo, and today I'll be doing a tutorial on how to build on Celo, specifically using Celo Composer. Celo Composer is one of the fastest ways to kickstart your mobile dApp development. So why mobile? Well, 3 out of 4 people in the world have mobile phones, but right now a lot of dApp development is optimized for desktop. If we're only building for users who can access the blockchain via desktop, we're really missing out on building for the global majority and building applications for users who can actually access the blockchain and interact with it using their phones. Celo is a blockchain that's optimized for mobile, and there's a few different reasons why that is. For a little bit of context, Celo is an emerging Ethereum layer 2, and it will be on the OP stack and part of the Optimism superchain. A few features about Celo is that it was created to enable real-world use cases on Ethereum. You can read all about the different features of Celo and specifically why it was built for this, but some of the ones that I do want to highlight is that it's optimized for mobile first because you can actually send transactions using phone numbers mapped to wallet addresses. You can pay for transactions with super low fees, less than a tenth of a cent, super fast block times with 1 second block finality, and you can also pay with transaction fees using stablecoin assets. It's important that we're building dApps that provide value to everyday users where they already are. And one of the exciting things about building on Celo is there's an opportunity to actually build for MiniPay. MiniPay is a stablecoin wallet that is natively integrated into the Opera mini browser. I could explain more, but instead I want to show this video that kind of gives a big overview of what the stablecoin wallet is and the power that it can do. So a few little notes about Opera is that Opera is one of the most popular browsers in Africa. Opera has over 80 million users, which is a potential distribution network to builders who use MiniPay. So as you can see here, this is what it will look like when you actually open up the Opera mini browser. And in the top right, you can see there is a button with the MiniPay stablecoin wallet, and it's natively integrated into the browser. So you can click right there, and you'll actually be able to access the wallet. So this allows builders to create like regional specific apps that also tap into Opera's distribution. But for building those apps, Celo Composer makes it really easy and simple to build dApps that are optimized for this wallet. And I'll go into explaining why that is. A little bit on how to use Celo Composer is it has a CLI that you can use just right in your terminal to install the template. Once you install that template, you'll have pre-written smart contracts and ready-made front ends that interact with those contracts. And the entire container is a responsive web app that's optimized for the MiniPay wallet, and you can actually end up testing it within the MiniPay wallet to see how your app renders. I'm now going to do a demo on how you can actually build on MiniPay using Celo Composer. If you want to follow along with this demo and see the exact steps that I'm doing, they're all written in docs.celo.org. And you can check out our developer built on MiniPay overview to get started. The first thing you'll need an Android to download the MiniPay standalone app, and iOS development will also be coming out soon. So depending on when you are seeing this video, that might be available, but check out the docs for the latest updates. And this will give a bit of an overview on how you can actually download the standalone app and create an account. Once you have an account created on your Android, you can go to your terminal and actually install this command, copy this command, and paste it in your terminal to begin development. Mini pay demo. It's going to ask for a project name, and then it's going to ask if you want to use Hard Hat as your deployment framework. And then if it asks if you want a template, you're going to say yes, and you're going to select mini pay. And from here, it's going to create a custom file for you. From here, you can go into your folder and open up that template and check out the README for the exact steps on what to do next. Once inside, you can just begin to install dependencies with yarn or npm install, depending on what you prefer. And yeah. As a little preview of what's happening right now, we have our React folder that actually has the front-end framework for how everything works. And then we have our Hard Hat, which actually has the contracts and scripts so that you can deploy them. And I'll be going into both of these in a little example of what this might look like. And then just so you can get an example of what it looks like, I'm going to go inside the React app, and you can do yarn dev and actually begin to get a local version of your app so far. So I'm gonna wait for this to load. And then right now I haven't actually added any of my local environment variables. So that's the first thing that you're going to do right after. But here's a small little example of what the blank MiniPay Celo Composer template actually looks like. From here, I'm going to begin actually changing this, so renaming from environment.template to env. And what you're going to do here is you're going to paste in your private key and your Celo Scan API key for both the Hard Hat folder and for your env variables. Where's that? Right there. Right there. So let's start off with the Hard Hat, just so I can show how to actually deploy a contract. What you're going to want to do is you're going to open up MetaMask, and you want to ensure that you're connected to Celo Alfajores. If you have any questions about how to actually add Celo Alfajores, check out our docs, network information, and then adding Celo to testnet to MetaMask, and it'll give you all the instructions step by step on how to actually add the Alfajores network locally. From there, you want to ensure that you're using a developer wallet. So this is a fresh new wallet. Do not use a wallet with existing funds on it or anything that you do for personal use. This is just a separate wallet that you have for developer experience. So right now I have a completely new fresh wallet that is blank. And you're going to get your private key by going to your account details and clicking show private key. I'll be doing that offline. Once you have your private key, you're going to paste it right within your private key inside of the hardhat.env variable folder. The next thing that you're going to want to do is add your Celo Scan API key. This will allow you to deploy and actually verify contracts straight from the terminal by using this. Obviously, I'm not going to show mine, but just go to Celo Scan, make sure you create an account, and then you can hit API keys and get that key. Lastly, within your React app, you want to get your Wallet Connect project ID. This is what you'll need to actually run the project, and you can create one with this link right here. And then you can copy it within a project ID, and if you don't have a project yet, you'll need to make one, and you can just follow the steps on the site. And then you'll paste it back into your environment variable here. All right, now that you have all of your environment variables added, the next step is actually deploying a contract. The MiniPay template gives you a sample ERC 721 contract using the Open Zeppelin standard, and you can check that out here on how it works. But essentially, within Hardhat in the contracts file, you'll get all of the contracts that it comes with. And then you can click on the deployment scripts to actually deploy the contract. So here is how it comes. I would change the initial owner to be your contract address. So for me, that will be my DevDofi account, and paste it in there. And then to deploy, you can find all the instructions exactly on how to deploy within the Hardhat README file. So we'll just copy all of the deployment instructions, and I'm going to be pasting this all into a new terminal. You're going to want to first make sure that you're inside the right folder, and then do npx hardhat compile. And then to actually deploy the contract, you can do this deployment script, and because you'll be on AlphaHora's testnet, this is how you can do it. And of course, if you're on Celo, on mainnet, you can do this deployment script instead. And yep, it's gonna ask if I wanna confirm my deployment. I'm just gonna select yes, and then it actually deploys. Oops, as you can see, I have insufficient funds, and this is because I did not yet get testnet funds from the faucet. So that is the first step that you need to do to ensure that you can deploy. And if you're curious, that also says it's all written here inside of the MiniPay overview. So I'm gonna click on the faucet from the docs, and this is an overview of it, and you can paste in what address you want to get, and you can click Celo only if you want to receive Celo. And then now I should have some Celo, as you can see. But if I want to get some testnet tokens, I'll hit this, and then I can get some testnet tokens as well. And if you actually want to get all of your tokens automatically added, add suggested tokens, and as you can see, now I have this. Another thing, if you want to get more, say I don't have CUSD because the faucet's full, you can just go straight to Mento, which is Celo's stablecoin, decentralized stablecoins on Celo, and go to their app. Make sure that you are on AlphaHora's testnet, and you can actually swap into CUSD. So here's a quick example. Just making sure my wallet is connected. And then you can confirm the swap. And this is how you can get a bit of CUSD token if you need. I'm gonna just wait for that to process and approve. And then once it's confirmed, you can see, now you can see you have a little bit of CUSD in your wallet. Now that we have some Celo, I'm going to redeploy my contract again, confirming that it's on AlphaHora's, and it should execute. As you can tell, I'm using my minipay.ts script to actually deploy the contract. You can also go to the Alphahora's Celo scan and then paste in this contract address that you just got and actually check out what that contract is. And then finally, the last thing that you can do is actually deploy that contract. So, the last thing you can do is actually verify that contract. And then this is just happening on, you'll place your contract address, and then you'll place also your constructor arguments that I had for my deployment script. Where do I have that? And then network Alphahoras, and you should be able to verify. Let's see, it has, oh, I pasted the wrong address. You want to get your actual contract address, and then the second address is my localized address, and then see if that works. And says successfully submitted source code for the contract, and so now it's actually verified. So you can go check that out on Alphahora's Celo scan and follow that link. And as you can see here, now we can actually see all of this stuff. We can read the contract, read bits of it, and you can write straight from here as well. But what's even cooler is if we can do it straight from our front end. So as we go back here into our local host, we can install, connect our wallet, and begin to see what this actually looks like. Diffdofi. It's connected to Celo Alphahoras. And then now that I have connected my wallet, I have a blank canvas for my MiniPay project. It shows my wallet address. And then you can do a few different functions like sending money to your own address, signing a message, or minting an NFT. So I'll just show an example of what that will look like. Signed a message, sending some money. And then now you can get the transaction completion. Check that out there. And then lastly, minting an NFT. And once it's completed, we can refresh, render, and actually see the NFT that you just minted all on there. So this is like just a blank little canvas to use. But what's really great is you can actually take this link and start testing it within your MiniPay site tester. So what I'm just gonna do is in a new terminal, I'm gonna paste in Rock, and this will actually give you a local URL that you can use for site testing. So follow this link, open it up, visit site, and as you can see, it's the same site as well, but you actually have a link that you can pass on, and you can take that link and actually deploy it within your app. For now, I'm going to show a quick example of what this looks like, and then I'll actually pull up my Android phone and test it out yourselves. So essentially, when you open up the MiniPay wallet inside of your Android, you can check out this whole dApp showcase page, and then click on your profile, and then actually right here, click on developer settings. And if you don't have a developer settings, you'll probably have something that says version at the bottom, and you want to click on version multiple times, about 7-ish times, until you become a developer, and then I'll put you in developer mode. Click on developer settings, and then you can load test page and actually load the test page, and then you can paste that link that you just created into the MiniPay site tester, and it will open up the site tester straight into your browser where you can begin testing that out within MiniPay. And a few trade-offs that you can see here is there is no connect wallet button in the top right. So our initial rendering has that connect wallet, but here it's actually hidden within this UI. So those are just some of the changes. So that gives like a little overview of how to actually start using Celo Composer and a quick start to begin experimenting with different MiniPay app ideas and use cases. And very exciting to see whatever you end up creating. But what I did want to dive into, since we have a bit more time, is actually some of the actual practical ideas and use cases that you can begin creating. So one thing to note is that MiniPay is a stablecoin wallet, so it may be different from how you typically think about building dApps. This is an entire dApp ecosystem, and you really want to focus on what are some hyper-specific reasons why people might need to use crypto within specific regions. So this is definitely not a comprehensive list, but this is just some ideas to get you started. Maybe that's personal finance, maybe that's interacting with merchants, or anything like B2B. Maybe this is using gift cards for like a local area or coupons. Maybe this is billing. Maybe this is micro work and earning stable coins for actually doing a task or an activity. So there's a bunch of different use cases that would make sense on a MiniPay app to this distribution network. So you really want to think about who are the specific users that you're building for, who's the target audience that's actually using the Opera Mini browser, and who's going to be interacting with this stablecoin wallet, and what are the type of maybe on-chain applications that they would be interested in using and that specifically solve a problem that these users interact with every day. A few little criteria you want to think about when you're building a MiniPay app, and things that we as judges do to evaluate projects during hackathons and different demos like that is one, obviously a technical evaluation. Is your project doing what it says it does? And then idea and relevance. So is this idea useful for an important part of the MiniPay audience? And finally, UI, UX, and design. If you started testing out MiniPay apps on your Android and began testing the different dApps, you'll realize that the user experience is super clean and simple. A lot of the users who are interacting on the stablecoin wallet are new to crypto and aren't, maybe don't know much about crypto or blockchain. And so how can you design the UI, UX, particularly for those types of users? Another thing to note is that if you are participating in the hackathon and don't have an Android phone, don't worry. This is you're just trying to build a responsive web app, and if you can create a link, and even if it doesn't work within the MiniPay site tester, that is okay. Really what we just want to see is people experiment with different ideas and different use cases that make a lot of sense for the MiniPay audience. And really what we're excited to see as judges is what are the exciting ideas that you come up with? Why are they relevant? What problems does it solve for a specific subset of users that maybe we haven't identified? Finally, the last thing to note is if you are applying for these bounties and you do not have an Android and are not able to test on Android, that is okay. That is not a strict requirement to apply for this bounty. Rather, what we are trying to see is what are the specific problems that your app aims to solve for what specific subset of users. So we're really interested in seeing the exciting use cases and ideas that you all come up with. And even if you're not able to demo it within the MiniPay site tester, that is okay. Rather, we're just trying to see a responsive web app. So something that does look good in a mobile screen when you pull it up on a mobile phone browser, since we most of the users that will be interacting with the application will be on mobile. Another thing I did want to mention is we have a second bounty, and this is the best open source tool built on Celo 2. So Celo is going to be an L2, and we will be announcing our official launch date very soon. Perhaps if depending on when you're seeing this video, you'll already know, but we have launched Alpha Hora's L2. And so if you want to begin interacting with our new chain, and if you want to test out different things such as interoperability tooling, wallet, social connect, fee abstraction, different open source tools that are now possible on our L2, this is definitely the bounty for you. So the design landscape is very big here for a reason, and we really want to see what cool innovative tools and infra on our testnet, on our L2 testnet that you can build. So we're really excited to have you building on Celo, and really excited to see the different use cases, different tools, different things that can happen.